things just don't seem to be going Roger's way. He thought he'd inherited the house of his dreams, and he's got a next-door neighbor who's out of this world. But Roger had no idea he'd have a few friends waiting for him. A few dead friends. He just wants to bury the past. But what do you do when your ex-wife turns into a witch?
Roger.
Hi. Here with your wife?
I'm divorced.
Oh, really? Shame. You must be lonely.
Well, I appreciate the company, Tanya, but, you know, I'm kind of busy right now.
Oh, no, don't be silly. I understand. We should get together soon.
Absolutely.
Neighbors shouldn't be strangers.
I couldn't agree more any other time, all right?
All right, that's okay. Bye.
I'll see you later, okay?
Okay. Roger, if you need anything at all, just call, okay?
All right. Bye.
Bye.
There was some fun in the film, much the same as there was a sense of fun about Cary Grant's performance in Arsenic and Old Lace, but it was dealing with these two crazy old ladies that were killing people. Well, in this film, it's not quite that, even that fanciful. It's more, if you will, Arsenic and Old Lace meets The Shining, you know, with some scary monsters thrown in.
Supporting Katt in this twisted tale is an equally impressive mix of comedic and dramatic performers, including George Wendt from Cheers, Richard Moll of Night Court, and Kay Lenz from Rich Man, Poor Man. And appearing in its first starring role, The House. Taking the reins of this wild and perilous ride through House is director Steve Miner, who is himself no stranger to supernatural tales, having directed the blockbusters Friday the 13th, Parts 2 and 3. Steve Miner's biggest challenge was working to create believable special effects. Even everyday household objects of the garden variety can come to life with the aid of a little wire and the right person on the other end. Here the tools are hung, supported by a wooden frame, which is similar to that used in operating a marionette. In order to make the wires disappear from the camera's all-seeing eye, a flat, clear spray is applied, blocking out the glare of the lights. A member of the special effects team takes his position just below the camera frame in order to help swing that menacing shovel at an unsuspecting Roger. Here's how these effects come together in the film as Roger answers a knock at the bathroom door. Of course, that's not to say these tools don't serve a useful purpose. You never know when something may need to be weeded out, especially a bothersome purple witch. This terrifyingly funny character was designed by effects wizard James Cummins, creator of the film's numerous ghosts and goblins. Cummins is known for his effects in such films as Enemy Mine and Cocoon.
Roger's wife, Sandy, shows up at the door and turns into this creature. And she takes a lot of abuse in the film, the witch. She gets her head chopped off, she gets beat with a shovel, and she gets just pretty much dragged around a lot. And he finally does eventually kill her.
Designed to both terrify and tickle the funny bone, this nasty purple creature was not put together overnight, but is, along with the other creatures in House, the product of hundreds of hours of work conducted over 3.5 months. But as much as these creatures seem to come alive before the camera, as the special effects crew breathes life into this vast array of wire, rubber, and plastic, they are not real. Or are they? We ask William Katt about this other supporting cast.
Working with special effects, the secret of that for me is the training that I received in theater, because you bring a lot of that to the movie set. A lot of it is imagination and being able to think real quick on your feet.
Humor is a major element in House, as the following scene displays. A beautiful next-door neighbor, Tanya, played by former Miss World Mary Staven, charms Roger into babysitting for her son, who is in fact the real-life pride and joy of director Steve Miner. The well-timed comedic performances come out in full force as Roger discovers the pesky purple witch hasn't quite kicked the bucket yet.
Only be a minute. See, I thought that you should get acquainted. Your neighbors and all.
That's very thoughtful of you, Tanya, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm kind of busy right now. I think that I'm kind of, where you going, little fella? Stay here. I'll get him.
Roger?
Stop! Robert! Come here, Robert. Robert, come here. I got you. I got you.
Robert? Roger?
I got it.
Are you going? Roger? Robert?
Roger meets and conquers his own psychic terrors, including one of the most spectacular monsters in the film, the War Demon. The War Demon is a conceptual representation of Vietnam War victims who have come to haunt Roger, a Vietnam War vet.
Shooting it is going to be very difficult. It has to be choreographed real carefully, because he will deliver quite a blow to somebody if they're standing in front of him.
This huge and horrifying mass was constructed primarily of foam and polyurethane, which was stretched over a sturdy metal skeletal structure. After primary construction is completed, the monster is turned over to Bill Sturgeon and his crew, who must transform this huge bulk into a workable system of pistons and tubes, which will animate the War Demon when attached to an air compressor.
That was good. Do it once more, please.
Do that again. Flex the hand.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, swing your arms back and act the camera. What?
So, what's all this cameras for?
During a midnight snack, Harold questions Roger's sanity.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Well, what kind of ghosts?
My aunt thought this house was haunted.
No offense, Raj, but your aunt was Looney Tunes.
What about me? Do you think that I'm Looney Tunes?
Not at all. I mean, you've been to Vietnam, lost your only child, your wife divorced you. I mean, you got a few marbles rolling around, but right now you seem fine.
There's a monster in the closet. At this point, Bill Katt doesn't know whether it's really a monster or whether he's just been imagining this as some sort of horrible psychotic flashback. But, so that's why I'm there, to sort of verify. There's a bunch of cameras behind us. He's trying to figure out if this demon's real or just part of his imagination.
But seeing is believing, as Harold soon discovers.
away! Harold, what the hell? Help me! What can I do? Grab onto me! Don't let go!
Don't worry, Roger. I'll hold on to you if it's the last thing I do.
The impact of creating and working with such evil monsters can take its toll, as actor Richard Moll contends in his role as the menacing, ghoulish war buddy Big Ben. But where does the fiction end and the reality begin?
You know, one thing I've noticed, though, is, you know, when you play all these really ghoulish, nasty characters like I do, after a while, you know, it's like water off a duck's back. Things don't bother you that much. I mean, you know, I think I get desensitized after a while. I see all this blood and gore and guts and stuff. And it's just, you know, it used to shake me up and really get to me. But lately, I just don't, it doesn't bother me at all. I gotta say that.
House from New World Pictures. Enter at your own risk.